Dmitry, vodka. I am a Russian spy. I come from Russia, fatherland, and today I'm going to be showing you how to do a Russian accent. Before I tell you how to do it, I need to explain my lineage. My father's family comes from Russia. Our entire family lineage, his father, grandfather, great-grandfather, all go back to Eastern Europe, and from there, Russia. Then they split up, and now we finally ended up where we are today. So I can tell you Russian, how to make the Russian sound, how to impersonate Russian, the culture of it, the hardcore nature of the Vaderland, and how to copy that sound so you can sound like a Russian. This is how to sound like a Russian. Now the first thing to understand is that in Russia we love drinking alcohol. And not just any alcohol. We're not talking liqueurs or beers or ciders. We're talking vodka. And I'm not saying vodka Dmitry when it comes to flavors like the mango vodka and lime vodka. None of that. No, we don't care about kiwi vodka or anything like that. Banana vodka, we don't want any of that. We want pure 58% alcohol that you need. 58% alcohol vodka. Chuck it in the freezer that it's almost frozen, but remember alcohol cannot freeze. And then we have these small little shot glasses. So if you're Russian, Dmitry vodka in the small glass of the vodka. And as the vodka's poured, you shoot it back. And then you have a little bit of lime, or you have some chips, or you have some bread. Then, not only that when it comes to Russia, but we love to eat a big hearty meal. And I'm not saying anything that purely has vegetables, or goji berries, or any of these health foods that they say avocados and eating kill is the best thing for you. No, absolutely not. We are talking babushka, like our mother's babushka, that makes you strong, which means meat at every single meal in the form of soup or stew. No steak, no salads, none of this. We are in Eastern Europe, Russian. We need to have the babushka to make you strong. You must eat. I once had a Middle Eastern friend, and for some reason he had a lot of money. Let's say his name was X-Man. And X-Man's father had a lot of money for some reason. And when I was making friends with him, we found a place to go out to eat and to have this arrangement. So X-Man comes and he's fiddling with all his cash. And he decides to take us to a restaurant. He says, we're going to an Italian restaurant. Not a Russian, but an Italian. He, with his Middle Eastern culture, thinks like a Russian though. He says, you think like a Russian. So then, we end up at this restaurant. So he says to me, we're going to order food. So I look through the menu, I say, should we get a burger? Should we get some soup? He says, no, I don't want you to get the burger. You must get the soup. So we get the soup, it comes. But now this isn't a normal plate of soup. It was an expensive, massive plate of soup with 2 thick slices of shea butter or chia butter bread. And I start eating it. I started with the bread first. I get to about halfway through the soup. And now I'm feeling full like, babushka, mother's babushka. I'm feeling too full. But the problem was that this Middle Eastern friend of mine, X-Man, said, you must eat. Don't stop. You must eat. Middle Eastern. He didn't want to waste food. So I start going. 1 spoon, 2 spoons. Finally finish it. And that was him teaching me, although he was Middle Eastern, that Russian lesson. We put the food on the plate. You take the vodka. But you must finish the food. Babushka make you strong. And that's where I learned the very first lesson when it comes to Russian culture. Is food is crucial for strength and power. Nowadays we have McDonald's and we have KFC and many others, Burger King. Fast foods with the cheapest materials ever known to man. Mass cultivated on plantations so that they can ruin your health and degrade your own sense of strength by putting mayonnaise sauce and sugar and salt that are just going to cause diabetes and make you fat. No six-pack abs, make you fat. But unfortunately, this culture has almost infiltrated Russian culture. But because Russia is the fatherland, there's no infiltration of it. And in Russia, as I said, we have meat stew. We have soups, heavy, thick, oily food. Because that's what makes us strong. I was taking a look at my great-grandfather and his brother in Russia. And back then you could see a look in their eyes. This masculine power and masculine essence. And I could see they were wearing a suit, white collar shirt, and a tie. And the way they were standing was just staring at me, saying, what kind of person are you? But Russian, what kind of person are you? Can you hold your own? How many shots of vodka can you do? 5, 10, 20? Would you ever compete with me? all of these sorts of things, because the Russian culture extends far beyond the food they eat and the language and the harshness of their speech or their Vaderland. It extends way beyond that to a culture that is hardwired to achieve, to be dedicated. Imagine you're running a race. You're running a race against Mr. X, or you're running a race against a Russian. Who is more feared? The Russian. Have you ever heard of a normal, random, fat spy? No. And if you haven't, he's not as feared as the Russian spy on the computer, on the dark web, selling the drugs, selling the Russian. If you're Russian, I have Russian culture, which allows me to speak about this because I feel it inside here. But if you're Russian, comment what you think Russian culture is about. So now you've understood what Russian culture is about. How do you speak like a Russian? Well, in order to speak like a Russian, you have to become a Russian. If you want to box like Muhammad Ali, you can't just say, oh, you put your hands up like this, and then you go like this, and pa. No. You have to learn to box first. You have to get skilled. So if you want to learn to speak like a Russian, well, you should start eating babushka. Find people who have Russian origin. Spend time with them. That's why I'm stronger than most people. Because I come from Russia. And I don't care about all these liberal ideals and all these new age thinking. I don't care about McDonald's. I hate KFC. Today my dad ate KFC because he forgets his Russian culture and that hard nature, that hardwired nature that is determined with a killer instinct, the beast instinct within us. Because we have that Russian culture. But he forgot it and he got KFC. And I was starving. I said, you know what? I'll have KFC. The second I took that bite, I finished it like this. I realized I'm never ever eating KFC because it's babushka that makes me strong, and it's babushka that can make you strong. If you want to sound like a Russian, like this, only a Russian can talk to you and go, if you want to sound like a Russian, Dmitry, vodka now. 5 shot. We don't leave the table till you finish. 1, 2, 3. Your chance. Only a Russian, someone with that kind of culture, can look at you in the eye with veins on his mother freaking hand, with the strength and the power to match you with vodka. You want to sound like the Russian? You have to think like the Russian. You have to prepare like the Russian. You have to train like the Russian. Eat the babushka like the Russian. You want to learn how to speak like a Russian? Don't waste your time, my friend, on this platform. You're wasting your life away watching silly little videos of stupid people doing stupid things in stupid places. See that movement of the camera? That's like a paradigm shift. You were looking at me like this. Now you're looking at me like this. Who are you? Where are you? And what is your goal for the future? If you want to learn to speak like the Russian, you must first become the Russian inside the Kishka.